What is going on, Buckeye Nation? Back again with another episode of Walks Buckeye Talks. Um, Sitting here disappointed, sitting here upset. Uh, I think I can speak for everybody on Buckeye Nation. I wanted this one really bad, um, but it didn't turn out the way we wanted to turn out today, man. And as I told my son, I've been on the other end of these situations when it comes to the team up north, Michigan, Penn State. I've seen us go all the way. And through the joy, through the pain, I'll always ride with my Buckeyes, man. But before we get started, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. And this is the last game of the year, it's regular season, um, so two Titans coming in, man, 11-0, 11-0. Michigan brought back a lot of guys. This was like the year to go for it, to win the big one. And the Buckeyes breaking in new starting quarterback, losing some guys on the line. They had two different trajectories starting the season, right? We had Michigan, who had a lot of known stuff about them, and they're going to play good defense, and they were going to run the ball, and Ohio State had a lot of question marks. Fast forward many weeks later, we was positioned where we're 11-0. Credit to Ryan Day and his staff for getting this team up every game and going on the road, beating some tough opponents. But we were here, man, and it was a good game, man. It was a solid game. It was a war, man. Like I predicted, it was a war. It was back and forth. I feel like the Buckeyes never really got their foot. I feel like they never got that. It's like we needed a turnover. We needed some life to take the lead, to, put the pressure. I feel like Michigan was never in a position where they was going to lose the game per se. If you know what I mean. It just feel like since even early on, that hole that got us with the Common Core through interception, I feel like we never could just dig out that hole, man. I just feel like we was playing catch up the whole game, even when we tied it. And we played a heck of a game, man. Um, Kyle McCord, he had two picks. The last one, good play is what it is. But that first one kind of put us in a hole. But I thought he had some good drives, man. That was a really good defense. They had some good drives. He was 18 of 30, 271, two touchdowns, two interceptions. I feel like he missed some throws. I feel like he made some big time throws. But what's gonna stand out is to me is that first interception, man. I feel like he forced it in there for no reason to Marv, and I feel like that play, we feel like we never got our foot in the ground. We feel like we never could get it going, man. As far as having a grasp on the game, not necessarily moving and making plays. I feel like we just could never get a grasp. We needed that turnover. We needed that turnover. We needed that fumble. And I feel like we almost had one with Denzel Burke, which would have turned the game. You take six off the board, it's a tie game. So, but it just doesn't. This wasn't our day, man. Give Michigan credit, man. JJ McCarthy was 16 of 20, 148, one touchdown. He wasn't great. He wasn't like spectacular. Like, oh, he was a difference maker ultimately because Cameron Core threw two picks, and JJ was more efficient. But uh, I feel like I mean, he did his job. He did his job. He didn't mess it up. I think I used this analogy when we played Penn State or Wisconsin on one of those weeks. I said all Common Core has to do is not give them the ball, and we're going to win. And I believe that's what Michigan thought too about this game. We just can't we can't give up the ball to them, and we're going to win this game. And I thought they did that, man. They played good defense. They ran the ball okay. Like I said, it wasn't like Michigan looked like world beaters. I feel like this was a B game for them, but it was enough for Ohio State. But JJ had an okay game. I feel like he made enough plays, and that's what you got to do in these games, man. You don't need to be superstar, generational type player when you can just make the right plays, be efficient, and move the sticks. The running game, I thought Trey battled, man. I thought he battled. I thought the O line that second half drive to go down and tie, it was beautiful, beautiful. Like I said, this team has so much promise, and the ceiling is so high, man, for this team. And it seems like every uh even last year, I feel like our ceiling was so high. This year, I feel like the ceiling was just so high, man. And I don't know what's up with that, man. But you saw the promise with the offensive line, which I thought it played. I thought the offensive line played great, man. It wasn't Michigan is a stout defense, man. It's like trying to run on Georgia last year. Like they're probably going to get you more times than you get them. But I feel like Trey, he battled. I feel like at times we pushed him around, at times they pushed us around. This wasn't a 2021 where it was just like they were just more tougher and more physical. I feel like pick pick your poison in between games. You know, which one drive we get them, one drive they get us, one drive they push us around. It just they did it when it mattered. They did it when it mattered, and that's what championship teams do. Blake Corn was had 22 carries, 80 yards. You know, Blake is great, man. He's a great player, a tough player. Uh, I think the one that made him go up a touchdown. I feel like we fell asleep there. I don't know what happened, but other than that, I feel like we kind of we did our job for the run game. It wasn't like they destroyed us on the run game. Um, thought we held Donovan Edwards intact. I thought the backup the wrinkle with the running dual threat quarterback, that was a big play. You know, just certain stuff like that, man. When you're confident in these games like they are now, that's what happens. Receiver wise, Marv did good. Emeka, made a few plays here and there. He had a couple drops that I feel like he could have had. Julian made a beautiful catch on the to get us to down to go score. I mean, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful catch. Credit to him, man, stepping up and making plays. That's what this game is about. Um, K 3 for 3 catches to 42 yards. Mecca was 3 for 24. Um, everybody was pretty average. On the other hand, Michigan tight ends Loveland killed us, man. He single. I feel like he really hurt us. You know what I mean? He made key plays on our linebackers with the tight end delay. I thought that play was killing us, and especially to the boundary. It was just little things like that that is so critical when you're you're already going on the road playing a team that's probably maybe a tad bit better. I didn't think it was like Michigan's just so much better, but when you're confident, you're playing with a lot of confidence, and you're playing like I always say since they got over the hump, they play like, oh well, if we lose, we're supposed to lose in a sense, like okay, I'm gonna go all out because if I lose, okay, we lost to Ohio State. It's like I don't know. That's how I feel like their mindset is, and they play loose, they play free, they play confident. You know what I mean? And um, Roman Wilson, he was 3 catches, 36 yards. He had a touchdown, which was controversial, I guess. But either way, it was 50-50. I'm not going to be one of those fans complaining about that. It was 50-50. Did I think it was an interception? But they caught a touchdown. But I feel like we held him in check for the most part. I mean, nobody really killed us. I mean, I thought Loveland, I mean, he did. He killed us. But as far as receivers, just like last year, they didn't. I mean, sorry, not like last year. Like, uh, uh last year to me, I feel like other than Cornelius Johnson getting off a little bit, I feel like we held their top big receivers under control. Roman Wilson, 3 catches, 36 yards. Cornelius Johnson, 4 catches, 33. He killed us last year. AJ Barner, 2 for 25. I think he had a big catch late in the fourth quarter. But I mean, like I said, man, it was just one of those days, man, where I just feel like even though we were in the game, we was never really in the game. And credit to Michigan. Defense, I won't say too much about the defense, man. You gave up 30. Um, Defense carried this team the whole year. I think the only thing that I spoke about that I wish the defense did more of was create a little bit more havoc and create turnovers. Because in these games, I stated it in the analysis, we're going to need a 1 or 2 turnovers. And this is a defense who just didn't create a lot of turnovers. Solid defense, great run defense, secondary is amazing, but we just didn't create enough turnovers. And I think that's the next step for Jim Knowles year 3. Create those turnovers. Uh, get those guys playing a little bit more havoc, a little bit more disguise and coverage so we can maybe confuse people and maybe get some turnovers. But defense, they carried this team the whole year, man. I know people look at it and say, well, it only matters only people who don't play football, who never play sports think that your season it comes down to one game. That's foolish talk. You don't put in the work all off season, dedicate yourself to say nothing else matters to the first 11 games other than Michigan. Do you want to beat Michigan? Of course. Of course, it's what you do it for, but I don't like fans, Ohio State fans who say that nothing matters except this game. That's loser talk. That's loser talk. Imagine if we came in this game 8-4 and we just lost to Michigan. Come on, man. Now we 7-5. Of course, every game matters, man. That's loser talk. You that's not people who ever play sports in their life, man. Michigan's a great they they're in a great cycle right now. They got a great group of kids who bought in, who believes in themselves, believes in the system. And they're just in a good cycle, just like we were the past 20 some years. It doesn't mean that history is going to repeat itself. We're going to be on the other end of this. Just telling my son uh in 2021 he never saw other than 2021 he since he was born he never saw Ohio State lose to Michigan ever. You know, I'm 30 plus years. I've only saw us lose 2012 or 11 or 12. I think it was 2011. Uh, it's been a long time for me too. Like, and I'm not trying to throw shade at Michigan, like, but that's just the truth of the nature. Like, I never been on these sides before. Like, our big time matchups, 1 versus 2, '06, we won. One was it 1 versus 2, Urban won in overtime. Like these type of games, we've been on the best side. It's just sometimes that's what happens. And credit to Michigan, credit to I still think they cheated. That doesn't mean they're not good. But I do think they used that to gain them an advantage over Ohio State over the last couple years. But credit to them. I'm not dissing them. They won the game today fair and square. They were the better team today. Uh, but they're just in a good cycle, man. It's going to take a value effort for this Ohio State program right now to overcome it. This is not the same Michigan it was when I always use this. No disrespect to Urban. Urban was great, but let's not act like Urban was beating these type of teams. He beat a couple teams that were ranked and that were good, top 10 teams. He beat one team that was ranked I think, a top three team in overtime, which could have went either way. So let's not act like he was going against NFL type talents on the offensive defense as Ryan Day faced over the last 3 years. Uh, Love Trussell. He single handedly changed the dynamic of the rivalry, but he beat some pretty bad teams too. You know, they wasn't just beating these type of Michigan teams year in and year in and year. Michigan's been 11-0, or at least 10-1 or 11-0 going into the game over the last 3 years. That they wasn't doing that over the last 20 years. So this is a new territory that we have to overcome. Uh, but credit to Michigan, but I believe Ohio State played their butts off, man. I just sometimes you're up against it, and I feel like sometimes on the road you just got to steal it, right? I just feel like we could never get that key moment to steal the game. I thought we were close when we were driving, and man, he got hit, and I was like, oh, check down, man, check down, just get the first down. You know, if you just put pressure, get the first down, give herself a chance, but um, that's life, man. That's life. I'm upset. I'm mad. You know, like I said, my birthday's next week. I This was like a Walker family tradition. We will go to the Big Ten championship. I would do some shopping. I would go watch my team play. Me and my wife would hang out. It would be um, a great time for my birthday. But 3 years in a row, man, I can't do it. So of course I'm upset. My son is upset. You know, kids take it a lot worse because they feel like it's life and death. But I told him, man, you'll look back and the Buckeyes will turn around and we'll be on the other end of this for the next 3 or 4 years, and Michigan will do it again too. So that's my take on the game. I do want to get to a couple of things that I be, on Twitter. I feel like the losing the game is worse because we have social media. Like, like to me, that's what makes it worse. But I do want to say I trust in Ryan Day. No matter what people say, I think Ryan Day is an excellent young coach. I feel like he's figuring some stuff out. I feel like he took a step this year. going against Georgia. He took a step this year with this team. I feel like you really saw his coaching on display. Uh, it's just he's gonna have to figure it out when it comes to this. How do I overcome it? You know, you gotta eat, sleep, and breathe it. You gotta figure out how to overcome this, right? Uh, he has to figure it out. But I don't think we should look to fire him, man. This dude is like 40-0 in the Big Ten. He's lost to Michigan 3 times. Michigan teams who've been ranked top 5 every year. Like it's not like he's losing to teams that he shouldn't lose to. Like he's beating the teams that he should beat, of course. He's going on a road beating tough teams also. It's just Michigan right now, like I said, they got a group of kids, a group of seniors, junior seniors, and 6-year seniors, 7-year seniors who just bought into to it and they're figuring out. It's something we have to do. You know, we just have to figure this Michigan. And once we do, I think you just got to get one. I've always say this: you just got to get one. And sometimes it can be more mental than anything. I feel like in 2021, the whole offseason was, and I never felt comfortable about that next year in Columbus. I swear. I never felt comfortable. I was like, I don't know, man, because the whole offseason, they're not tough. They're not tough. And it was like, dude, stop listening to the outside noise. You guys are tough. If when you're tough, you don't have to keep saying that. And we went out there and we were tough enough, but we wasn't mentally tough enough to overcome that. And I feel like we're getting to a point where it's like, come on, guys, we got to figure it out. I'll tell a quick story before I get out of here. I play football in a kind of small town football, big time football town. I play for a Catholic school, and we used to go against this school. It's like maybe 10 miles from us called Moral Foresight, and they're really good program still. And I went to this program called St. Teresa. If you're from Illinois, you probably know it's a smaller school, but you probably know. But uh, my freshman year in the playoffs, we ended up losing to them. We ended up losing to them. It's like I've never seen Monroe beat St. Teresa, and I've been following St. Teresa at least since 7th, 8th grade. We used to blow them out every year. They made the playoffs at like 5-4. Like we were the number one seed. They upset us, and like the next 3 years, we might have had the same team. We might have been equal, but it seemed like we could never overcome that hurdle. It's just like we could never figure it out. Like one year, or I'll say this, at least my junior senior year, we went to their place, they beat us. My senior year, we played them at home. I feel like we were the better team. Our kicker missed the extra point. We lost to him by a point. It was like we could never get over that hump. It's like they had that mental advantage over us. And I just think that's what Ohio State is going through as a program. Not in this against Michigan. I won't even say as a program. And I think they just have to get over that mental hurdle. To you just need one. And the next year, my school, we ended up beating them, and it was back and forth, back and forth. You know what I mean? And they don't play each other now, but you just got to get that one. But I think Ryan Day is here. Hopefully he's not going to take another job. I always believe that Ryan Day, if he's going to take any job, it's going to be an NFL job. I don't. It gets no better than Ohio State. Hopefully this program regroup.
You love to travel. Capital One has a rewards credit.
Sorry. Hopefully they regroup. They focus on this bowl game or whatever. Hopefully we win. Kyle McCord just has to be better. He has to be better. Like I said, I think I said it the last video. He needs a game that say, "Hey, next year this is my job. We're gonna." And I don't think he did that. I think it's gonna be another quarterback controversy. Hopefully we can continue keeping these recruits. And I'm praying to get in the playoffs, man. I'm praying for that, but it's not looking like it. Um, and we just have to figure it out. I think Jim Knowles is going to stay. Hopefully, everybody stays intact, man. Maybe get, I think everybody should stay intact. As the world is so quick to move on from somebody that don't do their job like they should, or come up a little short. Let them figure it out, man. I think the Ohio State defense is going to look even better next year. The offense is going to be a lot of new faces, but hopefully we get a couple faces coming back. Me personally, I think Emeka Buka should come back. You know, I think Travion should come back. That's just my opinion. Hopefully, I hope Donovan Jackson comes back. That'll give us three. I think we only would lose one, but I think our right tackle we're gonna have to upgrade. On the defense, Latham was missed today for sure, but I think we lose Latham and Proc, but our secondary, as long as Hancock comes back, Iggy's gonna come back. I would love Denzel to come back, but you got Matthews. I think he's gonna be really good. We have to break in some new linebackers, and I think Mike Hall and Jack Sawyer will be back. So you're gonna miss some guys, but I feel like I'm confident in the future with this Ohio State program and the boys. And like I said, man, do it all, man, do it all. I've been more on the upper side than I have just lately. Just haven't, man. And I think social media makes it worse because you got people talking crazy. That was nothing to do with being tough or soft or none of that. We just lost to another good team, man. We lost to another good team, team that was a little bit more dialed in and focused. And uh, when you have a second year starter, your attention to detail and the way you are efficient in the passing game and making everything how you see with Oregon with Bo Nix, he's just efficient. Nothing rattles him, and I think JJ was like that, and hopefully Cal, the next quarterback, is like that also. Um, but hey, man, not the day that I wanted, not the day I expected. Um, really thought we was gonna take it to them and get the job done today. Thought it would be close, but credit to Michigan, man. Hats off to Michigan. We'll see how they do. I think they'll have their way with Iowa late in the game. I don't think Iowa can stay with them for 4 quarters, and we'll kind of go from there and see how the playoffs shake out. Um, but yeah, man, 11-1, 10-1 in conference, not Big Ten champs again. So just one of those things, man. Before we get out of here, like, share, subscribe. Probably be back sometime we figure out the bowl game situation. Keep our fingers crossed, Buckeye Nation, for a playoff spot, but it's not looking too confident right now. And was geared for a bowl game and see how everything shakes out, man. I'm not gonna be a hater or nothing like that, man. Um, like I said, I could take the good with the bad. I've seen Ohio State dominate for 20 plus years, win titles. So it just sometimes that's what happens, man. History repeats itself. Maybe this is what the '90s was like, right? All my older Buckeye faithfuls will tell me the '90s we went through this, and it'll circle back and we'll dominate again. But it is what it is, man. Peace out. Another episode of Walks Buckeye Talks, recap of the game. As you can tell, I'm disappointed, but I'm a fan through and through. I trust in Day. And we'll be back, man. We'll be back. We'll be back. So peace out.